Hans, this must be leaving a bitter taste for the Democratic Party, especially because the Incheon mayoral post and the Gyeonggi-do governor post, they had been held by DP politicians. And now, as for Incheon mayoral post, it looks like PPP's candidate Lee Jung-bok has a large lead over the current mayor of Incheon. As for Gyeonggi-do governor, although it's within a margin of error, Kim Eun-hae has a lead over Kim Dong-yeon of DP.
Yeah, these races, Kang-yeon, were must-wins for the DP, and they don't quite seem to be eking it out. Again, we should point out that the exit polling so far is within the margin of error, although it reminds me very much of the presidential race exit polling back in March, where the exit polling there was less than 1%, and it did hold pretty much consistently that night in favor of the Yoon camp. So we'll see if Kim Eun-hae is successful in her bid to take over as the Gyeonggi-do province governor. And that would be a shift. That would be another partisan realignment for a very pivotal part of the country. And if she snatches that victory, in a sense, then that's a big plus for the PPP and a big setback for the DP.
Now, so a landslide victory for the ruling PPP would not, however, make much of a difference in the number of seats that the main opposition DP has in parliament. But still, what would a landslide victory in this elections for PPP mean for the Yoon administration, and what would a good defense by DP mean?
Well, considering that Yoon won the presidency so narrowly and didn't even get 50% of the popular vote, that wasn't quite a mandate. It basically was a sign that the voters themselves were undecided, that the voters had enough of the DP, but they weren't quite ready to give the PPP or even Yoon personally the strong vote of confidence to govern. So a strong local election victory tonight gives Yoon something closer to a little bit of a mandate, although again, and in the city of Seoul, certainly Oh Se-hoon, he may very well be the big winner tonight in many respects. If what we're seeing from the exit polling holds, and Oh goes into his next term as mayor, fourth term with a commanding lead, he may actually now be a contender, very much so, for the presidency a few years from now. So that too is very strong for the PPP. But as you say, the PPP only has 109 seats in the assembly. Maybe they'll get one or two more tonight. The numbers will shift a little bit after the results tonight. So they still have an uphill battle in the assembly, and that will be the best stronghold, I think, that the DP can lean on if they want to try to influence the direction of the country and put their own stamp on the direction of the country over the next few years.
Right, but definitely for Seoul Mayor Oh Se-hoon, this will be a drive. This will give him the drive to move forward with many of the policies that had been hindered by the opposition-led council.
And that's a shift for the city of Seoul, too, considering that Park Won-soon had been the mayor of Seoul for almost a decade before that tragedy cut his entire life short. So yes, there's been a partisan shift in the city of Seoul. And even though An Chol-soo will also obviously still be in the assembly, he'll still have his fingers in the pie as well and could potentially be another contender in the next presidential race for the PPP. I think An, since he's had so many different lives and ends up coming and going and conceding and partnering, Oh Se-hoon may have an advantage. But on the other hand, President Yoon's only been in office for a few weeks, so it may be premature to speculate too far into the future. But if we're looking broadly at the little that we know so far, just on the exit polling rather than the actual numbers, this Oh Se-hoon victory in Seoul is a very early indication of a really rightward shift now in the capital city of the country. And that in itself, given that the mayor of Seoul's position here in Korea is almost of the stature of a national office, in some ways it's the most powerful executive in the country below that of the president. This suggests that the whole country is in many ways, the center of gravity in the country's political scene is now much more in the hands of the PPP once again, after not so long ago being decisively in the hands of the DP. So I see a very big shift in partisan allegiances that is really kind of completing its cycle tonight, away from the DP and toward this new regrouped ruling party.
Right, so we do have a rough idea of what the results will look like, but still we'll have to wait and see how the results shape up throughout the night and early into this evening. Han Schattle, Professor of Political Science at Yonsei University, thank you so much for being here with us. And of course, our Bae Eunji, well done. Good job, thank you.